interest-only loans. So far, what we've learned is, from a loans perspective, we learned something called reducing balance loan. What happens in the world of reducing balance loans? You take some amount, you borrow some amount from a bank charges some interest, and then you start paying back the principal and interest to a point when your future value is zero. FV becomes zero. That means you've fully repaid the loan. Correct? So, in a nutshell, in reducing balance loan, you are reducing what? Your principal. The money, the amount that you borrowed at the start. In the world of interest-only loans, so reducing balance loan, you pay a PMT. So your PMT is split into two parts. The first one is your principal reduction. If you remember your amortization tables, the principal reduction, your PMT has two parts. Principal reduction, and the second one is the interest charged. Now, in the world of interest-only loans, there is nothing called principal reduction. So there is no principal reduction. It's not there. So that means your PMT is nothing but interest charged based on your payment arrangement. It could be weekly, monthly, whatever you've arranged, whatever is the payment arranged with the bank. One more thing to be noted here is that in the world of reducing balance loans, your PMT is a very hefty amount. It's a good, significant amount. So it could, for example, if it's a $2,500, you'll see it in like a significant amount there, right? And if you split that amount, a significant amount of PMT is principal reduction. So I'm just hypothetically making figures. So there could be a scenario that out of 2,500, 2,200 might go into your principal reduction, and another $300 would just be interest charged. So that's how your PMT is divided. Interest is a smaller component, principal reduction is a heavier component. The reason it's made heavier is so that you pay off your loan in the given time frame. Now, in the interest-only world, as I said, this does not exist. And hence your PMT is not that heavy. Because your PMT is only this bit, interest part. And interest portions are small. So in the world of interest-only loans, your PMT value is just the interest value. And there is no principal reduction. And hence, the interest-only loans have smaller PMTs in comparison to the reducing balance loans. Right, Ethan? Makes sense? Now, since you are not reducing your principal, that means you're not paying off at all. So no matter how long you just keep paying your interest, you will never repay your loan. Your loan will always be standstill. Your principal amount, your present value, what you borrowed, suppose it was a $100,000 loan. The present value, which is a positive present value because the money is sweeping into your bank account as a loan, at the end of, till the time you want to pay interest, the future value will always be equal to your present value. in a negative value. Why? Because you're not actually paying. In reducing balance loans, your PV will be, let's say in the same scenario, a positive 100,000, but at the end, and there is a tenure attached to it, 5 years, 10 years, whenever whatever time frame you're reducing, you're paying your loan off, eventually at the end of that tenure, future value becomes zero because you're fully paid. So there is an n value associated with, or the time period is associated with reducing balance loans. So you have a significant n here. But in the world of interest only loans, since you are not repaying the loan and you're just paying the interest, bank doesn't mind. You keep paying till the time your lifetime, right? Bank is getting its money. So in that sense, the future value remains equal to your present value, but in the opposite signs. And the most important part is n. There is no tenure. But I can't put n equals to 0. So n is always 1 in case of interest only loans. Because one fine day when you will say to the bank that I am tired of paying interest now, done, I need to pay off this loan. So bank says, okay, give me one shot, you've got $100,000 left still. That is why n is 1. Because if bank wants to take the money back, if you want to take the money, if you want to repay the money, you've got just one installment, pay everything back. Or else convert it into a reducing balance loan and come in this scenario. So that is why interest only loans, this is very important. Present value and future value are exactly the same, but opposite signs. N value is 1 in your financial solver. Everything else remains the same. You do not repay your loan. Hence your future value is never 0. Is this okay? Yeah. I'll just quickly take this off the board and I'll connect the dots. I'll just take this off now. Okay. Now, there's something called perpetuities. Apologies for the incorrect spellings. Now, perpetuities are exactly the reverse of interest-only loans. Perpetuity is an investment vehicle. This is investment. You are investing with the bank. Here, you are lending with the bank. Here, in interest-only loan, bank is the lender. In perpetuities, you are the lender to the bank in order to earn some higher rate of interest. Make sense, Ethan? Right? Has the school gone past chapter 8 yet? Or the done? No? Cool. Now, what could be the likely scenario? How is perpetuity, a real life scenario of perpetuity? Let's say John retired and he got a sum of $500,000 from his super. Now, he doesn't want to consume this $500,000. If he keeps this money in his regular transaction account, he doesn't earn anything, minimal, peanuts. If he puts this into a high savers account, I don't know whether you've heard of it, where you earn slightly more, 4%, 4.5%, right? But then in those accounts, the money is still very liquid to you, right? You can just go to an ATM, take it out, finish. Then there's something called perpetuity, where your money, you kind of lock the money for some time. and you don't have the direct access to it. So what John does is he goes to a bank and say, hey, I don't want to put this money into your high savers interest account. Do you have anything better where can I earn more interest? And I want to make and I want to earn that interest in the form of income that comes to me at a regular interval of time. But then at the same time, I don't want this money to vanish. Do you remember in the world of annuities, very similar scenario, you will have gone to the bank and bank has said, okay, I'll start paying you money till the time you exhaust all your principal amount, and I will pay you principal plus interest, and you'll have some income with you. And that has some time period attached to it, because bank has to pay everything off. Here, John says, I don't want the principal as such. Just pay me higher rate of interest. That's it. I don't need this money. But regular interval. So then comes perpetuities. The bank says, okay, let's lock your money. So PV is 500,000, but now it's going out of John's bank account, so it is a negative value. Since it's staying as is, it's not going to finish, it's not going to get consumed. Future value will be a positive $500,000 because you've not consumed it. Right? You see, exactly opposite. Here also only interest is involved. Even here only interest is involved. The client is interested in paying only interest. Here client is interested only consuming the interest. So there is no tenure here attached to it. So N is 1. Because till the time client wants to enjoy the interest, he or she can. And the moment they say stop, give me my money back, bank gives the money back. That is why N is 1. And what the client is getting, your PMT value here is also interest only. A positive interest value, because he starts to get money into the bank account. And here your PMT is a negative value. That's the only change on your financial solver when it comes to interest only loans or perpetuities. See, they are exactly the same scenario. You have reducing balance loans, and in the world of loans, and its equivalent as annuities. Right? Make sense? Exactly same. So in the world of interest only, these are the two vehicles. Any challenge here so far? Understanding? All good? Ethan, all good? Yes? Alright. Now, let's do a question. Let's go to question number 27. You guys can just share the book, please. Page number 448. I'll quickly take this off the board. Please the down part. So this says Jane borrows $50,000 to buy some shares. So your PMT is 50,000 plus or minus borrows minus 50,000. Jane negotiates an interest only loan, that means N equals to 1. Sorry, not the PMT, the PV, my bad. N equals to 1.
Isn't it positive 50,000?
Yeah, positive. Yeah, correct. I wrote PMT and I wrote negative, right? Sorry. PV positive 50,000, N equals to 1. Rate of interest is 9%, I is 9. So since it is an interest only loan, the future value will be a negative value. So your FV is minus 50,000. And it says, what's the monthly amount? It says per annum compounded monthly. CPY is 12. And then the last line says, what's the monthly amount? PPY is 12. Monthly amount. You fill all those values, go to the PMT, press enter, you get your answer. Any dramas so far?